Hi friends, I hope you all are doing great. It's me, Nikki here, and I am excited about this video because I have been wanting to share my tips on how to write a book for a minute and have never sat down and done it. And so I'm really excited to get it done. So if you're thinking about writing your first book, you definitely want to watch. So friends, like I said, I was so excited to do this video because this is a piece of information that I have really been wanting to share with you for a while. I am going to be sharing my process and my 3 simple tips for how I write a book. There are several different ways you can go about it, and we all work differently, but I have found that the way that I set up my process really works for me. And if you're not familiar, I do have 3 books, actually 4 published books. One is a card deck, actually. It's beautifully organized in 52 weeks. I have it here, by the way. It's beautifully organized in 52 weeks, and it's a card deck. It's my latest, actually, publication. It's a card deck of 52 cards that help you get your home organized, and I'm really proud of it and excited for it. It's a great tool. My very first book was Beautifully Organized, and this is my best-selling book here, Beautifully Organized, where I take you through every room in your home and I share with you how to organize the space. I will say that the 3 core tips to writing a book that I'm sharing with you today are geared toward those nonfiction books. You know, I have never written a fictional book, and so I'm sure the process may be a bit different. So if you're in that realm, this may not be the video for you. The tips can still be helpful, I'm sure, but I know for nonfiction is where I'm geared to with this video. My 3rd book was actually Beautifully Organized at Work, and it basically does the same thing that the first book does, but for your work life. I take you through how to organize your work life in a beautiful way, from not only organizing spaces in your workplace, such as the conference room, the break room, all of those things. I share with you how to organize your home office, if you work mobily, how to work with difficult coworkers, all those things that creates an environment, a tough work environment, I address, and I give you solutions for those things. So if you haven't grabbed this is a great tool to have in your work arsenal. So I will link all of my books below, but I did want to start by sharing with you my books so that you kind of, for anyone who's new and you may not know me, you kind of know where I'm coming from as far as the tips that I'm sharing with you. And then my 2nd book was also a tool like my card deck, and it's the Beautifully Organized Planner, and this was actually implemented after Beautifully Organized because I wanted to give a tool to help you implement those systems needed in your home to have a well-organized space. And so this I am extremely proud of also. And all of my books are everywhere that books are sold, and I'll link it down below if you want to grab them and check them out. I would be so honored. So now let's talk about your book and kind of how to get you started on writing your book. So friends, my first tip is to grab a journal. You can find little journals anywhere for all of nothing. You can go on Amazon, you can go in like Marshall's and Home Depot. They have great like $3 and $4 journals, leather bound, like leather-esque bound. You can find something that has something inspirational on the front, but I recommend that you get a journal as your first step. And what you use this journal for, what I use this journal for, is to brain dump every time something about my book comes to my mind. Because when you're writing, you have all of these ideas, all these things that you want to say in the book, but you don't have them in any organized way. And it's fine in the beginning, but it's important to get all of those in one place. And so if you have that journal at the start of your process, every time that idea for the book, that thought, that quote, anything, it goes in here. You can organize it in whatever way you decide to organize it, or you don't have to organize it in any type of way. For me, it's about just getting the information in there. It's just dump. This is basically a book dump. You're just dumping all of your thoughts, all of the things that you want to talk about in your book as it's coming into your head. The 2nd step is to write your table of contents first. I find that is kind of the backbone of the book and the structure of the book. And so by writing that, that is the first step in organizing your book. So if you just get a simple document. I like to use Google Docs to write my books because it allows you to collaborate with, if you're going to hire an editor or have someone edit your books, or if you're published and you have your editor, it's easy to go back and forth. So Google Docs is my tool of choice. But again, like I said, there's tons of tools out there. I can even do a video talking about that. But you just want to start with that table of contents and basically keep it simple. Just you're doing your introduction and then all your different chapters and then what each chapter is about. And why that is key is that is giving you the buckets that you need to take all of the information that you had here and get it in an organized state. Which leads me to my next tip, which is to then take this beautiful journal that has all of your greatest thoughts for your book in it and start plugging in each one of those thoughts into one of those chapters. So you have your table of contents. You're going to, as you look at the different components that you've written down in here, you're taking it and you're plugging it into the chapter that it belongs to. And then you start seeing your concept come together because you've taken all of these thoughts and you've arranged them so that they're kind of in their bucket of chapter. And then you can start honing in on each one of those items and start breaking down your book and start writing your book. So it really is the most important thing to do. So one, you're creating the source to gather all the thoughts and all of the ideas. You're then creating the structure in that table of contents, and then you're plugging each one of those items into the appropriate chapter. And then you're giving your time a timeline for writing each chapter. And that is so important so that you can really focus on that chapter. You don't want to, for me personally, I don't think it would work well for me at all to just jump around writing in different places. It's about saying, okay, it's about chapter 1 for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever, how much time you're going to give yourself per chapter. And then you can really hone in on all of the things that you've plugged into that chapter and expand on it and do all your research and do everything you need to beautifully write that chapter. So as a bonus, friends, another thing that is important is to really, before you start writing, determine a few things. One is, when are you going to write? When is going to be those times that you write? Because that is going to be so important so that you can really commit to the time. That is one of the biggest things that I struggle with in writing, is really that commitment of time to get it done, because we have so many things that go on. But if you write it into your schedule as if it's something that you must do, just like brushing your teeth or whatever the case may be, you're intentful about getting the book done. The next thing that is important is to determine where you're going to write. I have found that this is probably one of the most important things for me. I'm not one of those people that can sit on a train with a ton of folks and write and zone out. It's just not how I work. Some people work like that. I have to have a quiet space. I have to have no one around me. Oftentimes for me, it has to be late at night, because that's when my sparkle time is. That's when the world is quiet and I really, really am at my optimal thinking point. That's my optimal time. That is my optimal time. And so for you, it's about figuring out, okay, when is my optimal time to write and where is that? And then making sure that you really create that environment that has you so that you're comfortable, so that you really are connected, and so that you really, really can put out some great things in your book. So friends, those are my 3 basic tips to start writing. I hope that that was helpful to you. I wanted to just give you that simplified version so that you can get started with that book and you had a 3-point system to use for doing so. Please let me know if you have any additional questions in the comments below. And if you would like to me to expand on anything with what I talked about today, I would definitely love to do that. So let me know in the comments. And if you are thinking about writing a book, we would love to hear about that. So definitely let me know down in the comments. I also wanted to mention that At Home with Nikki, where I talk all things home, work, life organization. And then I also have my pet organization, my pet channel for Bentley and Albert, and that that is At Home with Bentley and Albert. I'll link both of those videos below, and I hope you will go over and enjoy that content also and subscribe. Along with, you can find me everywhere on social media as At Home with Nikki, and I hope that you will come follow me over there. But I especially want to encourage you to get on my list, and I will put that at the top of the description box. I have a newsletter, The Orderly, that comes out every Friday that is helpful for challenging you, and this can be helpful if you're writing your book too. Also, just a great way to keep up on any updates that I have. So if you're not on my email list, I would encourage you to do that. And again, I'll put the link down below so that you can jump right on that. So friends, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I will see you at the next video. And this is Nikki saying goodbye.